Time flies like an arrow, and fruit flies like a banana. Hi, I'm Egor Prikaziuk, and in this video, I'm going to tell you about temporal scales of remote sensing, topic of Senseco Working Group 2. Let's get started. First of all, let's think about temporal scales. In fact, they overlap with the spatial scales discussed in the previous video. The processes that happen at leaf scale, they happen of course much faster than those that happen in community ecosystem level. But let me ask you, what is the unit of time? And you will be surprised, but the answer is the length of human life. Indeed, there are processes that take a lot of time, but we cannot see them. Evolution, we cannot see. Some processes take less time than evolution, but still they're too long to observe, such as succession. And in contrast, small scale processes are usually too fast to be observed. For example, my favorite photosynthesis process. It has a lot of electron carriers. Look at the seconds written here. It's picoseconds, nanoseconds, microseconds, and milliseconds. That's why remote sensing occupies the scale somewhere in between the scale that we can see, and this is a seasonal scale. For example, this is the seasonality, or more correctly, phenology of potato plant, from its germination to senescence. Phenology, as I said, is a seasonality. If we put it on linear scale, we'll see, and greenness on the y-axis, for example, we'll see that in spring the plants are getting greener, in summer the greenness peaks, and in fall they're getting yellow, and in winter they lose leaves. Analyzing the pattern of this curve can tell us if it was early spring or if this year fall came late. For this, scientists have metrics such as start of growing season, peak of growing season, end of growing season, and length of growing season. But before analyzing those patterns, we have to make several steps. Prepare data, gap fill it, smooth and interpolate this curve to make it actually look like a curve. And then only analysis comes. Data preparation currently involves the preparation of so-called space cubes or data cubes, time space cubes or data cubes, when pixels are aligned in each images and it's easy to navigate. For example, here an NVIDIA image of different days of the year that are along that axis. Using the terminology of Australian space cube, dice, stack, and use. This is a preparation. But what might happen is that clouds, the enemies of remote sensing, cover some part of the scene. As a result, the analysis will be missing in that area. But luckily, there are tools that allow us to gap fill the images like that. These tools, for example, machine learning tools from Daytime S toolbox. Later on, smoothing has to be applied, smoothing and interpolation, and it has to be accurate, otherwise we are losing seasonal cycles. Finally, the analysis, the identification of trends, the identification of extreme events can happen, such as discussed in Senseco Young presentations of Esidal and Michal. So, Senseco, Working Group 2, led by Dr. Lamert, Dr. Helge, and Dr. Jean-Louis, contribute to the understanding of temporal patterns in remote sensing with help of a Daytime S toolbox, arranging local scale experiments and providing protocols of gap filling. Temporal scales. Stay tuned.